This is Rabbi Holman Jr. and
Trey Beverly.
this is Hebrews in Exile. You know, we've been talking about something for the last week, and that is, I can't. I'm at a place where Jesus Christ, I hate to say it in this context, but I'm going to, is an annoyance to me.
I'm right with you.
I mean, there is so much text that disproves his existence in terms of anything that the Most High would address himself to. And, I spoke last week from Philippians where it says the Most High has given him a name and he's made in the form of, and I was thinking this morning when I was thinking about today's podcast, I'm going, where in text does the Most High make any mention of anybody representing him in flesh? There is absolutely no text to support that Philippian narrative, Philippians 2. Matter of fact, let me read it again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Philippians 2 and 6. Though he was in the form of El, he did not regard equality with him. Now, let's go back to that for a minute because it's talking about being in the form. Form has shape. Form has legs, eyes, or it has something that's tangible. The Most High is not a tangible form. The Most High is a spirit. So when I thought about this particular text again, I'm thinking, where in any writing in the covenant, in what you all refer to as the Old Testament, I refer to as a covenant, right. Where is there any word mentioned by the Most High about this particular text right here? And not only that, I'm thinking, there is no text anywhere that supports any of this stuff about Jesus Christ. Now, before we get into what I want to talk about with you tonight, Trey Beverly with me this evening, I want to go to Isaiah chapter number 46 and verse 5.
Let's do it.
In light of what I've just read out of Philippians, it says this. It says, "To whom will you liken me and equate me? With whom will you compare me as if we were similar?" Now you take Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 5, connect it with Philippians 2 and 6, and they don't sync up.
Yeah, they don't align.
They don't sync up.
Yeah.
Now let's go. I want to go somewhere else tonight. Let's start. We're gonna go. Here we go. Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 18. 40 and 18. In chapter 40 and verse 18, he's going to come back and he's going to say the same thing that I've read here in chapter number 46. With whom then will you compare El?
Right.
By what standard will you evaluate him? Question. Okay? So he's asking these continued questions. We go to 45 and 22. Could have stayed there.
Yep.
45 and 22 says, "Look to me and be saved, all the ends of the earth, for I am El, and there is no other." I mean,
In the name of myself.
yeah, in the name of myself, I have sworn, from my mouth has rightly gone out a word that will not return, that to me. Now, here is now we're going to see a text that is attributed across the street, and this is where they get it from. A word that will return, that to me, the Most High, every knee will bow and every tongue will swear about me,
Right.
that only I, Yahweh, are justice and strength.
Right.
So now we go across the street. It says, "Well, every knee and every tongue shall confess about JC."
Right.
They get it from right here.
Yes.
But the Most High said, "This is about me." Let's go somewhere again, Trey.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Okay, we do 45 and 5. 44 and 24. Let's see what it says. 44 and 24. Isaiah 44, 24. Here is what Yahweh says, your Redeemer. He who forms you in the womb. I am Yahweh, who makes all things, who stretched out the heavens all alone, and spread out the earth all by myself.
It's clear.
I mean,
clear as day.
Listen to what he's saying. So now, when you talk about in text, you talk about the Christians want to put this spin on it that, well, Jesus Christ was with him when he did all these things. No, he's saying, I did this all alone, number one, and there's no one to compare me with or no one to evaluate me by. So you can't come up out of the blue and start making these professions about Jesus Christ being God manifested in the flesh. That is a total lie.
Right.
Let's go again. Let's go somewhere else again. Let's go to 44 verses 6 and 7. Let's see what they say. Thus says Yahweh, Israel's King and Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts, he says, I am the first and I am the last. Beside me there is no God, there is no El. Who is like me? Let him speak out. Let him show me clearly what has been happening since I set up the eternal people. Let him foretell future signs and events. So the Most High is challenging this demigod. He's challenging this demigod. Who's like me? You know? Let's go somewhere else before we go there. Let's go to 43 and 14, Isaiah 43 and 14. Let's see, is that 14 I want?
Maybe.
No, 15. 43 and 15. I am Yahweh, your set-apart one, the creator of Israel, your king. So now he's telling us who our king is. So we don't have to question about who the king is. 43, 10, and 13.
Yep.
You are my witnesses. Well, 43, 10, yeah. You are my witnesses, says Yahweh, and my servant whom I have chosen, so that you can know and trust me and understand that I am he. No El, no God, little G-O-D, was produced before me, nor will any be after me.
Clear as day.
Yes, I am Yahweh. Beside me there is no deliverer. I mean, what do you say to all this? The scriptures are clear in defining the Most High. Let's go back to 40 and 18 in Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 18. And 40 and 18 is going to verify and validate something that we've already read, that the Most High has let us know. With whom then will you compare me? By what standard will you evaluate? But what's this reason? With whom then will you compare El? By what standard will you evaluate him? Period. It's a question that's there. You know? And then he goes on to talk about all these idols that come up before him. I mean, I'm just reading these as a part of introduction to continue our discussion, Trey,
Yes,
about this demigod that has everybody in the world confessing, scammering after, and believing in. What text can we find that supports any of this?
I can't find any of it in his covenant.
So now, if it's not in the scriptures, then it doesn't exist. So we can use the words from the O.J. Simpson trial. If it doesn't fit,
Right.
we must acquit. So now let's go somewhere. I want you to talk to me. I want you to talk to me. There is text. Now, first of all, there is text that where Jesus Christ says these things in text. I only say those things. I what?
That my father tells me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, that's what he says. He says, I only say the things that my father tells me. But when you go to places like, for example, in Matthew chapter 5, he quotes what Yahweh says about 5 different times. And then he says, but I say.
Let's go there. Let's go there.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, but I say. Here is the contradiction. And the issue is, if the Most High has said something, who has the right to change it? One, but let's think about something else. He says in Numbers, I am not a human
Yep.
that I should lie
Or immortal, yeah.
or change my mind.
Yeah.
So now the question is, if we get over here to Matthew and he says, it's been said, but I say, well, now my question is, as you're going to talk about this, did the Most High lie? Did he lie on him? Now, whoa, Trey, wait.
Yeah, I know.
So now, here you are manifesting yourself in the form and likeness of the Most High, and now you're contradicting what you said.
Yes.
That's not possible. Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
No, I mean, I'm you right on it. I mean, if he's supposed to be the Torah in flesh, then how come he doesn't know Deuteronomy chapter 13?
Which says?
Which says you are not to add or subtract to the Torah. And he starts off over here in Matthew chapter 5, when we go to verse 17, he makes it clear and you can see that this is the so-called Yeshua speaking. He says, "Don't think I have come to abolish the Torah or the prophets. I have come not to abolish, but to complete." 18, "Yes, indeed, I tell you that until heaven and earth pass away, not so much as a yod or stroke will pass from the Torah, not until everything that must happen has happened." So he started this conversation off saying that he's in complete agreement with Torah. But as we keep going and we go to verses like verse 27 of this same chapter, you'll start hearing him quote Torah, and then he's saying things that are opposite of what the Father says, which he says he only says what the Father can say.
Let's go.
So if you read in 27, verse 27, it says, "You have heard that our fathers was told, 'Do not commit adultery.' And I tell you that a man who even looks at a woman with the purpose of lusting after her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye makes you sin, gouge it out and throw it away. Better that you should lose one part of you than have your whole body thrown into
Gehinnom.
Gehinnom. And if, I'll finish this paragraph off, and if your right hand makes you sin, cut it off and throw it away. Better that you should lose one part of you than have your whole body thrown in Gehinnom." I haven't read that in Torah.
You know, here's the problem. You have heard that our fathers were told. Who told them? Here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Who told them? Wait a minute. I thought you were El manifested in the flesh. So the question becomes one, who told our fathers? Wasn't it the Most High that told our fathers?
Yes, it was.
Aren't you supposed to be Him in the flesh? So aren't you the one that made this word and set and made this Torah issue for our people? Now you're coming somewhere else and you're adding to what you are saying. There is nothing in Torah
tells us to
that speaks to the idea, except for the idea, I do believe Torah talks about you shall not lust. There is a Torah principle that talks about lust.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of reminds me of having to do with the mind. Remember we was talking about David, and he said, if my mind was on basically sinful principles that are not in Torah, the Most High wouldn't have chose him. So we do need to be cautious on our thoughts. The Most High does tell us that in Torah to be mindful of our thoughts. But for example, on this part where he's saying that, what does he say right here? If you're
Oh, I know what it is. You should not covet. You should not covet your neighbor's wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But this here, do not commit adultery. But I tell you, if a man even looks at a woman with purpose of lusting, that's not in text.
Yeah, that's not
this would have to be germane to a man's wife. Adultery can only be between what? Come on.
Yeah. People that are in a relationship.
Right. A man and a wife.
Yeah.
But he has put this in a text that makes it look like if you look at any woman.
Right.
Well, that's not true.
Yes, that's not true at all.
And beside that, then he starts speaking in allegories, like gouge out your eye,
cut your
hand off.
I haven't seen none of that in Torah. None of it.
And I realize it's an allegory, but it's the point being is it's not true.
And if you are trying to get your people on correct standards with the Most High again, why would you come off teaching them principles that are not correct?
That are not in Torah.
That are not in Torah.
And that you supposedly being God manifest in the flesh said in Torah. And now you're changing your mind? The Most High says, I'm not a human that I should lie or change my mind.
Right.
So what are you doing? We've already proven through Isaiah that this guy can't be who he says he is.
Yes.
Okay, let's go on.
Let's go on. Okay, so this is a big one right here. When we're in Matthew chapter 5, if you go to verse 31, it says, it was said, and now he's talking about Yah because he has it right here in bold letters, and it tells you where this end is that you can go to Deuteronomy 24. It says, it was said, whoever divorces his wife must give her a get. That's true.
That's true.
Then he says, but, what? But I tell you, okay, that anyone who divorces his wife except on the grounds of fornication makes her an adulteress, and that anyone who marries a divorcee commits adultery.
Okay. Is that true?
That is not true at all.
What's the basis? Talk to me.
The basis of it right here, before we go in and we read Deuteronomy 24 of what the Most High actually said, we know right here that first of all, if a woman is divorced, she can marry again.
Yes.
So that is incorrect right
Matter of fact, let's go to 24.
Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 24.
And in Deuteronomy chapter 24, it says, suppose a man marries a woman, consummates the marriage, but later finds her displeasing because he has found her offensive in some respect. He writes her a divorce document, gives it to her, and sends her away from his house. She leaves his house, goes and becomes another man's wife.
I thought he knew that.
Period. To some comment that period. So that tells me that what's being said here is not true.
Yes.
But I tell you, anyone who divorces wives upon the grounds of fornication makes her an adulteress. That is not true.
Yes.
And that anyone who marries a divorcee commits adultery. That is not true.
Yeah.
According to Torah, Deuteronomy chapter 24, that statement is not a true statement. So now, I'm going to ask you a question. If the statement is not true based upon what the Most High has spoken to Moshe to tell Israel in Devarim, now you are representing yourself as God manifested in the flesh, and you're lying on yourself.
So is he teaching sin?
And he absolutely is. Not only is he teaching sin, but he's lying.
Yes.
It's a lie.
Yes.
This is not a true statement.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And your text, Greek text says, everyone who lies shall have their part in the lake, which doesn't exist. But anyway, they're going to be disposed of.
Exactly.
And the Most High says, lo, up on anyone who has said that I have said and I have not said. That's in our text. That's in our Hebrew text.
Yes.
So now I want you to know, Matthew 5:31 is not true. It is a lie. The man is lying on the creator of all things. Let's go.
All right. Let's go to verse 33. And it says again, so he's at it again. You have heard that our fathers were told, do not break your oath and keep your vows to Yod He Vav He, which we're supposed to do.
Yes.
But then he says, but I tell you not to swear at all, not by heaven, because it's Yah's throne, not by the earth, because it is his footstool, and not by Jerusalem, because it is the city of the great king. And don't swear by your head, because you can't make a single hair white or black. Okay, we know that. Just let your yes be a simple yes, and your no a simple no. Anything more than this has its origins in evil.
What you got to say?
Wow.
Talk to me.
This is just so disrespectful. I mean, he even says Yahweh's name.
Talk to me.
I mean,
explain it.
I'm right here. We are supposed to keep our vows to Yah. And matter of fact, this is what makes us truly Israel, by keeping Yah's torah. So if we don't even keep our oath, don't break your oath, and our vows to Yahweh and his teachings and his commandments, then how are we supposed to be set apart people?
Well, yeah, and then plus that, I mean, I get the idea of of not swearing at all by heaven and or by the earth, but
34.
by Jerusalem and all the rest of this, it has no meaning in the text. Let's see here something. I want to go see here. Footstool. It's this footstool. I know in Psalms.
What you thinking about?
I know in Psalms, what is it, 115 or 116? He says, "Heaven is my throne, earth is my
Footstool.
footstool."
Let me look for it.
But let's look here something here. Let's see what Isaiah 66 and 1
That's what. Dang, that's so crazy, Rabbi. I was just turning it into Isaiah.
Isaiah chapter 66 says,
Yeah.
"Heaven is my throne," says Yahweh.
There we go.
"And the earth is my footstool."
Yep.
Okay? So the question he's asking is, what kind of a house could you build for me? So now, the point being that there is no mitzvah that supports the rest of this particular text that he has added to this thing about not breaking oath or keeping your vow. That's the true commandment. But now he says, but I tell you, now when he goes to, but I tell you, is a violation
Yes, it
of
is.
Torah, which says in Deuteronomy 13, you shall not add to, nor shall you subtract from these words I'm giving you. There's a lot of addition and subtraction that's going on here. All of this stuff that we're talking about here is breaking a relationship with what the Most High has said and which he has taught to Hebrew Israel. Now, if he wants to add his commentary, then he needs to say, this is me speaking.
Exactly.
But I guess that's what he is, because he says, I'm saying. So if he's saying, I'm saying, then what he's doing is he's adding his commentary on top of what the Most High has said.
And why would he do that when his people need to hear the pure
truth.
They need to hear the pure
And
truth.
why would he have to add commentary to something that he said in the beginning if he's God manifested in the flesh?
Especially if his commentary is telling you to sin.
Right. 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 What else you got for
All
me?
right, yeah, let's keep it going. Let's go to 38. It says, "You have heard that our fathers were told, eye for an eye and tooth for tooth. But I tell you, not to stand up against someone who does you wrong. On the contrary, if someone hits you on the right cheek, let him hit you on the left cheek too. If someone wants to sue you for your shirt, let him have your coat as well. If a soldier forces you to carry his pack for 1 mile, carry it for 2. When someone asks you for something, give it to him. When someone wants to borrow something from you, lend it to him.
What you got to say to me?
I got so much to say, Rabbi.
Come on, talk.
I got so. For one, okay, let's start off with it in order. But I tell you not to stand up against someone who does you wrong. I haven't seen this when I study the Torah and the prophet. I haven't seen this characteristic of not standing up for justice. I have not seen the character of if someone hits you on your right cheek, let them hit you on your left too, letting people just run over you. I haven't seen that character in this.
Well, I mean, when we look at our text, let me put it to you this way, okay? Why would the Most High El tell you to do something that he himself does? Now, let me explain that, okay?
Yes.
But I tell you not to stand up against someone who does you wrong. Hebrew Israel
No justice?
has wronged the Most High El to the point that in Isaiah, the Most High says, I was furious with you. To the point that I unleashed my fear, and I'm paraphrasing, I unleashed my fury upon you. Did Hebrew Israel do the Most High wrong?
Yes, they did.
Did the Most High turn the other cheek?
No, he did not.
Not at all. Not at all.
Exactly. And
I mean, this here is maybe it's a good. I don't know. It's a good. Well, no. Here's what I'm saying, Trey. It's a good moral parable. I mean, let's think it through, okay? This is not in Torah, by the way. Let's think it through. If someone wants to sue you for your shirt, let him have your coat as well.
Crazy.
No.
And also, when he says that, hold on, why is someone suing you for your shirt?
Right.
It doesn't go into that.
No.
They can be just suing you just because they just want to just mess with you or whatever.
I mean, you want me to just be a nice guy and let people walk all over me, but I don't find any text in Bereshit to 2 Chronicles with any of the kings or any of the prophets where any of this action has taken place. They have all, at the behest of the Most High, gone and vindicated themselves against the wrong of the nations and the people that have come against them.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
And then back to what we was just saying right there. Again, he doesn't even explain. If someone wants to sue you for a shirt, okay, you have to explain why, because then we have it in Torah where things have to be just. So if someone's trying to get remedy or take advantage of someone and it's not just, again, that's not Torah compliant. But he's saying, oh, whatever, if they do it, you give them what they want, basically. And then right here, I got for the Christian church who believe in this and this part, when someone asks you for something, give it to him. When someone wants to borrow something from you, lend it to him. So should we be able to go to the Christians and ask them for money or whatever we need? And it says right here, when someone asks you for something, give it to them.
Yeah, we should.
So we should be able to go knock on their door and say, "Hey, you need to write me this check according to your word."
Yeah.
Let's see if that actually happens.
That ain't gonna happen.
They ain't gonna.
That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry, but that's not gonna happen. Not without now. Let me put it this way: that's not gonna happen without some explanation. Why do you want this money?
Oh, there you go.
See,
There you go.
and you know, being questioned, being queried quite a bit about it. No, that's not gonna happen.
But yeah. And he just says, give it to him. He said, if they ask you, give it to him. He didn't say, ask them why do they want it or what. He said, just give it to
Just
him.
give it to them.
So,
Yeah. So
man, you Christians are going to be broke in a minute.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock, Rabbi. we about to improve.
Knock, knock. Let's go on.
Let's do some expansion. Okay, let's see here. Let's see, 43? Yeah. You have heard that our fathers were told, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. Then you will become children of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun shine on good and bad people alike. And he sends rain to the righteous and the unrighteous alike. What reward do you get if you love only those who love you? Why, even tax collectors do that. And if you are friendly only to your friends, are you doing anything out of the ordinary? Even the goyim do that. Therefore, be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect.
Let's talk about it. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with the statement? What's wrong with the statement?
If
You have heard that our fathers were told, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. Now, let me what you're going to say. Go ahead.
okay. Oh, you want me to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, one of the things that that made me think of it is, now you, of course, you're here. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're supposed to be a light to the nations.
This is true.
And then also when we are going and we have, before we go to war with a certain people or whatever it is, we are supposed to offer them terms of peace.
This is true.
So if we hate them, why would we have to offer them terms of peace?
No. Now, let's go somewhere with this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When we look at texts, the Most High is very specific about the nations that he despises.
That is true.
He told Israel that they were supposed to demise a certain nation of people. Who was that?
Amalek?
The Moabites, or was it the Amorites? Which one was it? Come on, Trey.
It was Amalek, but that was just the one that
Amalek?
came when we was talking about
Amalekites.
Samuel.
The Amalekites. Okay? That they were supposed to destroy the Amalekites.
Amalekites, yes.
The Most High did not like them. The Most High did not like, and if we go to Ezekiel and look at Ezekiel's writing, when Ezekiel speaks to Elisha, to Ezekiel, and says human being, and he starts talking about all of these nations that he is going to bring judgment upon, he didn't like them. So, the point being is that, but I tell you to love, the Most High does not love his enemies. Now, let's talk about who are the Most High's enemies. People who know to do right by Torah and don't do right, he deems them as being wicked. He does not like them. The Most High hates, we're going to talk about this, you use this word hate. He hates idolatry.
Yes.
Therefore, he hates idolatrous people. Okay? So, the point being here, to love my enemies, I have no Torah principle that tells me that I'm supposed to do that. So I mean, we're listening to JC
Right.
talk about all of these things that the Most High has said, which he is supposed to be in the spirit, but now is in the flesh, that he is adding commentary to, changing and adding to, and not teaching Torah principles as Torah principles should be taught. I would put it in this context. The man reading this is like reading Matthew Henry commentary, where they try to explain text without understanding the mitzvot that are surround or go along with it. You know.
Yeah.
Now, I heard. Let me go back over here. Let me go back over here to. Let me go back over here somewhere. And I think it's in Philippians. I think it is. Let me see. Let me go. Was I in 46? I think I was in 46. Let's go back over here to Philippians 2. I think
Okay.
it was. Let me see. We just read this text here that every knee shall bow in heaven and earth under the earth, and every tongue will acknowledge. We just read that out of Isaiah, where they got that from. But the point being is that he was supposed to come, and his job was to save Israel from their sins. So now we have a problem because we have to define what sin is. And I've done this so many times now that it's fresh in my mind. But let's go there again. I hate to be redundant, but it keeps popping up.
Yeah.
So we got to go to 1 John chapter 3, and we have to figure out and see what sin is. This is what Jesus Christ was supposed to come and do, save his people from their sins. Am I right?
Yep.
That was his task. If he's supposed to be what he's supposed to be. Now, everyone, verse 4, who keeps sinning is violating Torah or the law. Indeed,
1 John.
sin is a violation of the law or Torah. Okay? So now, if he's supposed to save his people from their sin, then the problem that exists is that Israel at his time had to be Torahless. So he should have been teaching them the Torah, which consists of more than the Ashkenazis prescribed 613 mitzvot. There are more than that. I haven't read any text where in his 3 years of service that he went through any of the mitzvot that he himself, who was God in the flesh, was supposed to teach Israel to save them from their sin, which has the Christian church and people today in a state talk about they're saved, But my question is, how can you be saved and be outside the law? When your text says everyone who keeps sinning is violating the law.
Yeah. Oh.
Indeed, sin is a violation of the law, or Torah, in John.
And that was in John. Which one that you read?
I read 1 John chapter 3,
Yep.
verse number 4.
Yep. That's exactly where I'm looking at right now.
So if he was supposed to do that, where, in what text, and when did he do that? In the New Testament, which is supposed to be his document.
Right.
Nowhere.
Right.
Dear ones, listen. I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but there is nothing, according to the prophets, there is nothing, according to the Hebrew text, that supports anybody coming to earth representing themselves as Yah. Iye Asher Iye. There is nothing. Now, what does the Most High use? If the Most High is going to have somebody speak for him, it's going to be a prophet. And I've read all the prophets, and not one of the prophets passed himself off to be the Most High.
Right. None.
None of them.
None.
They speak for him. Now there's something to be said here, because they will speak for the Most High, but the Most High has appointed them and selected them to do so. And when he does that, he opens the text so that all of them know that the Most High has selected and appointed them to be a spokesman for him. There is no text, none, nowhere in Scripture, nowhere between Bereshit, Genesis, and Chronicles or Malachi, where the Most High has appointed Jesus Christ to be a spokesman for him or to represent him.
Right.
At all.
And he doesn't even call him his only son. That's not correct.
No. And you know, we go to this point where he says, where they call it that he's the only begotten Son of the Father, full of grace and truth.
Right.
That doesn't coincide with Exodus chapter 4:22, when the Most High speaks to Moshe and tells Moshe, go tell Pharaoh to let my son Israel go. Yeah. The Most High knows who his son is.
Exactly.
And Jesus Christ is not him.
No, not at all.
What else can we say?
I would tell the people that, you know, we have to, as each of us, we have to figure out in our hearts, are we going to worship the Creator and listen to the Creator, or are we going to listen to a creation or what someone else has to say? Because this is, like you said, Christianity, this is all over the world. So this is a very big test for all of our people. Are you going to cling to your Creator, your source of everything? Or are you going to listen to just because what have you grew up listening to? We both grew up in Christianity as well.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
I mean, I swallowed it hook, line, and sinker until 2007, when I started reading text and my eyes were open to truth, and I've been walking down this road of Scripture and unraveling the untruth and the lies that existed over there that my people are still struggling with. And the problem is, not only are they struggling with it, they don't even want to accept truth when you tell them. They think you're lying to them. No, we're not lying to you. The Greeks have lied to you and told you an untruth for all these years, and you cannot get it out of your system.
Right. And why would they say we're lying to them when we can go to the text and show them what Yah says himself?
Yeah, and particularly when
It's just like making an excuse, really.
it's particularly when you say that all scripture is Yah breathed and valuable for teaching and correcting truth. If
Timothy
scripture is
3:16.
that, and we come to you with scripture, and we tell you that it's scripture talking, then there shouldn't be an argument. But there is.
Yeah.
Because our people, and I hear it, oh my goodness, I'm so sick. Oh, I pray to Jesus. I mean, I hear it on the television just all the time. And I'm going, man, this guy can't save you.
Yeah.
He can't die for you. Every Torah says that every man who sins must die for his own sin.
Deuteronomy
And
24:16.
the Most High does not sacrifice humans.
There you go. There you go.
He said that thought never even entered my
There you go.
mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why would he? I mean, there's Trey. There's so much wrong. I wanted to bring this subject to the fore. Sean and I started talking about it last week, and we're going to come back in our next podcast because we're going to discuss the issues that are germane in text, which also disprove him, that come out of the book of Luke. And we're going to be back next week continuing to discuss how Jesus Christ cannot be God manifested in the flesh. Got anything you want to close with, man?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just a little bit. I just want to read this part. It just interests me on Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 9. This is something especially for us young people. It says, "Young person, if you spend your youth only having fun, if you use your early years just to entertain yourself, if you follow your heart as you live your life and let your eyes be your guide, understand that for all these things, Yah will bring you to judgment. Therefore, remove anger from your heart and keep from harming your body, for neither adolescence nor youth has any lasting value." I just want to add that on about, what it says on this part about our youth and our days, not to basically take them for granted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, this has been Rabbi Robert B. Holman Jr. and
Trey Beverly.
Trev Beverly, and this has been Hebrews in Exile. Shalom.